Okay, so yeah, we're doing it. So this movie, it's probably going to be a several part review, but it begins with Bilbo basically just saying, you know, oh, I told you the truth. You know, you asked me about my adventures. I told you, I can say I told you the truth, but I didn't tell you all of it. And then he goes into this beautiful history of Erebor and, you know, how Smaug came, and, you know, that's where I come in. And, oh, it was beautiful. When I saw it in the theaters, it nearly brought a tear to my eye. And I know a lot of fans were not happy about the framing device, that it is all set right before the Fellowship begins, but I actually like that framing device. It's the only way you can make making a prequel after you've done its sequels work. Well, technically it wasn't a prequel because it was written first, but, you know, oh, it's wonderful, beautiful. It's good to see Ian McKellen back as Gandalf. The dwarves, while most of them are forgettable, you can tell who's who. You can tell who Gloin is and Oin and is it Biffer or Bofer, who has the hat, who comes up a lot, and of course Feely and Keely and Bomber. You can tell who they all are. You gotta go on. It takes a while to get to see who everybody is. There are some story discrepancies, but oh wow, you know, like, there's just so much you can say about this. I mean, even with story discrepancies aside, like, you know, Azog, you know, he was killed by what's Thorin's cousin's name, and it's his son who's hunting them down. It's Azog's son who was hunting them. You also have the ponies. The trolls didn't get the ponies. The goblins got the ponies. But they're just so small and so minor that I can always overlook anything, especially with these movies. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Peter Jackson is the only man who should be able to make a fantasy novel into a movie, because he always hits it out of the park. He always does. And I won't go too deep into story, but if there's one thing I can say is that it does drag a bit at times. It does feel like, oh, they're going to wrap it up now. No, they're going to wrap it up now. And there's like 3 points near the end where you think it's going to end, but it doesn't. But that being said, it's wonderful. It's a really great movie. Music, soundtrack, it's amazing. This is like, I actually have seen it so many times since I bought it, just to listen to the soundtrack and listen to certain scenes over and over and over again. Bilbo describing Erebor, when Barlin talks about how they tried to reclaim Moria and how Thorin became, you know, got his epithet Oakenshield. Riddles in the Dark with Gollum. Andy Serkis just steps right back into it, and due to the updated graphics, he looks amazing. He really looks amazing. You know, Gollum looks just amazing, and that chapter in the book was always so great. And well, after it was re-edited, but just that part of the movie just really blew me away. Just wow. And the eagles, and just I did not really care for the redesign on the wargs, but they look more wolfish now, at least. It's just I can't gush over this enough. I mean, I loved it, and I'm a huge Tolkien fanboy. I'm very critical of movies when they really mess up on books, but this, I don't really have much of a bad thing to say about it. I loved just about every aspect of it. And Radagast the Brown, even though he didn't appear in the book, definitely, it makes up for cutting some stuff out of the other movies, just having him in this and having that funny character trait. And there were a few little continuity nods to stuff that wasn't in The Hobbit or even really mentioned in The Lord of the Rings, but you'd have to, like, that are in, like, the Silmarillion or whatnot, that you just, wow, they really are continuing the world. You know, it's not just The Hobbit, they're making where the Hobbit's place is in the history. I know the White Council shouldn't have been there. They should have been attacking Dungledore at that time, or whatever the hell the name of that fortress is. See, I'm a huge Tolkien fan, but I can never remember the names. You can see Saruman's a bit evil at this point. He's already kind of power hungry and kind of, you know, it's just great. And you see so many of the old actors just coming back and just taking their places, and just it's almost like the last decade hasn't happened. It's like they're still just picked it right up. I mean, yes, you can tell that Ian McKellen and Ian Holmes have aged a bit, but really, just I love this movie. It is probably one of my favorite movies that I've seen in theaters in a long, long time. But yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say. Can't wait for the next ones.